I'm delighted to be here today with Gráinne Harp Ireland to celebrate so many years of harping in County Meath, and it's magnificent to look around and see all the harps and to acknowledge the legacy of the Finnegan family in Nobber and more particularly the legacy of Dearbhail. It's fantastic to see all that she has given to harping in County Meath and nationwide, of course. The sun is shining down on the day, so I look very much forward to this concert.
I'm absolutely delighted to be welcoming you here to this great celebration of harping in County Meath. My name is Uilleann McMahon, and we're here celebrating the absolutely fantastic work that has taken place here in Nobber and in the wider areas of the Finnegan family, of Tony, whose vision it was originally to establish this harp school and the Nobber Harp Festival, of his wife Anne, who sat for many, many years in the school over there in O'Carrollin College of a Saturday, as myself and two other teachers, Tracy Fleming and Emer O'Flanagan, initially in the early years came to teach here. And finally to our guest of honour, Dearbhail, who then took the harp school to another level altogether and established the Meath Harp Ensemble, which in fact travelled the world under Dearbhail's direction, and I'll tell you more about that later, because when we put out the call for some of that harp school to come together, who had originally been in the ensemble, the sense of warmth and welcome and eagerness to be involved surpassed all our expectations. So I want to say a huge thank you to everybody, in fact, not alone the musicians, but everybody who's been involved in the putting together of this day. But in the meantime, I'm going immediately to go to the musicians, and we have harpers here who, I was just saying to them in an email the other day, that this occasion actually is joining all the dots for harping in County Meath. And all of the people, as I was saying, who are playing here today have played at festivals over the years, have taught at workshops over the years, have played with Dearbhail and the Belfast Harp Orchestra. So we're really delighted to have them with us today. And they have come from all parts of the country. And in fact, our first performer here, Michael Rooney, is no stranger to any of you, because Michael has just come with Brian and McNamara, the piper, who'll be playing with Gráinne Hambly afterwards, has just come from the Concertina Festival in Clare. So and Michael is here, is he? Yeah. So from concertinas to harps. And I'm going to introduce Michael now, who knows Dearbhail way, way, way back. They go back to old God's time, as they'd say. And Michael, of course, is a renowned harper composer in his own right. And I think in Carolyn country, it's actually very fitting that we open this concert today with a harper composer of Michael's renown.
Hi everybody, I'm absolutely delighted to be here to play, and so it's definitely a trip back memory lane for me just to be here today. And so I'm going to play you some of my own music. The first tune I'm going to play is called Tubber and Heo, so let's give it a go. yeah, I wrote that piece for Music Generation and Leash, and who I have a serious amount of time for. I think they're coming down here today on a bus. Are you there? Where are you? Down at the back. So look, it's great to see you. So I'm going to play you a tune I wrote for your teacher, Siobhan. It's called An Crichtra, and I'm a bit nervous, but I'll give it a go. Okay, so.
Delighted to be part of this concert today, celebrating the fantastic contribution to harping in Meath and Ireland and further afield made by Dearbhail Finnegan. I've been a friend and colleague of Dearbhail for many years. We played together with the Belfast Harp Orchestra. We toured the UK for 4 months with the show Spirit of the Dance, and I have such fond memories of all those times touring with Dearbhail, but also visiting the Harp Festival here in Nobber many times as a tutor and performer, and it's just fantastic to see the sort of hub of harping that Meath became, which is largely down to the work of Dearbhail. So I'm delighted to be part of the concert today to pay tribute to her. Well, it's fantastic to be here today and to see so many of you here to celebrate harping in Meath and all Dearbhail's contribution to that. So in keeping with the harping theme, we're going to play an old harp tune to start. It's called The Clergy's Lamentation, and it was published in 1724, so it's one of the early harp pieces. And we'll follow that then with a hornpipe called An Poistín Fiona. tune. You couldn't be a Nobber and not play a tune by Turlough O'Carolan. So we're going to play a beautiful piece composed by Carolan called Loftus Jones, and it's one of his really joyful pieces for a patron, Loftus Jones. So thanks very much, and hope you enjoy the rest of the concert.
So I got my start with Dearbhail on the harp about 20 years ago. I joined the ensemble at the time as well, and we spent a lot of time going around travelling and playing, and because of that I developed a love of music and ended up studying music, so that's still what I do to this day.
Lovely to be here and be with a lovely family, the Finnegans. Long time, as well as playing here, I think I ate bread and I drank tea, and the committee have minded me many years here, and of course Dearbhail spent time in Cavan, many years in Cavan. I still have the photographs, I can put them on Facebook, and of course she shared our music and she introduced the harp to the players down there, and my own son Cavan, who was brought up here and competed and played music, Dearbhail brought that harp into Cavan, so she did, and introduced him to Kim in the Gráinne Harp School at their area. And then the Rooneys came after that, so we owe an awful debt to Dearbhail. And then to Robin and herself, I met them in their performance days as well, and playing and making music. So this is a tune Dearbhail taught me, hard to believe it, a lovely harp tune, Sir Charlie Coote. You remember teaching me this? It took her months so it did to get me, and I still don't have it right, but don't worry about that. These are practice mistakes. And Charlie Coote. And then the second tune is a little tune I wrote for a man from Ballylickey in West Cork called Sean O'Shea, the great man. He won his Gradam last year as a great singer, and his association with the traditional shandos and the songs, and Sean O'Reilly, the great Sean O'Shea, the pucker. And I called it the pucker, so I did. And of course we were in America on a Kyoto's tour, and we introduced it, so we did. And of course there's no Americans here today, is there? No? And somebody came up and says, "Gee, guy, why did you call it that?" No, I says, "It's the pucker." But she thought it was an F, so she did. She says, "How did you call it that?" No, it says the pucker, so it is the pucker. So the pucker. And Charlie Coote, so Charles Coote, which is a Cavan connection. In Cootill, County Cavan, there's a family tomb there, so there is. And he gave the town its name. So thanks to Dearbhail, I learned this tune, and we play it around the world for you. So Karen's going to join me, a local woman from Cavan, involved with her Nya Kyotis. So here we go. And we'll finish off this set, and thanks to Aileen and the Harp Ireland, I know they're doing a wonderful job here today for a special family, and I know they put a sight of work into it. Their banners are up here, but I'm envious as an accordionist the wonderful work that's going on now with the harp, and it'll draw attention to Tony Finnegan and Anne. There's a pair of them in it, and that harp work, and handed it down, and all the family, the lads and Emma and all there. The music's strong with them, and of course, wonderful place, Meath. Lots of families in here today that I know so well, so it's a lovely county. I'm down in Cavan, and of course, one of our best Cavan men, Anton McGowan, lives up here in Ashbourne, and it's just wonderful to be able to come back here today after COVID and meet everybody. And Dearbhail, I wrote this tune for Dearbhail many years ago, Dearbhail Finnegan's Hornpipe. And it was influenced by the tuning up, because when she first came to the sessions in Cavan, Jesus, I thought she'd be tuning up for hours. And we couldn't understand what was going on at all, this big lump of a harp taking up the space of 3 musicians. And then after she'd have it tuned and all, the string would break or something, and we said, Jesus Christ. And I'd be saying to the lads, oh, get up and get another drink quick, she's still at it. So this is Dearbhail Finnegan's, and it's sort of a repeat on it, so it is. And then we'll have a bit of a jig. Finta McMahon, a great friend of Dearbhail's as well, wrote this tune. He's a Fermanagh, he called it Trevor's Rooster. And we'll finish it off then with the melody of jigs, Robin and Pitchfork. And maybe if we have time, we'll put in an old tune. I remember telling this about Robin. It's an old tune called Me Darling's a Sheep. That's what that is. And he believed me at the time, so he did. So there's another name on it, but I think we told Robin it's called Me Darling's a Sheep. And especially for you, Robin. But anyway, as I say, Tony Finnegan, wonderful friend of me for years. He brought me up to Flas and introduced me to the people up here. And he used to arrive to the house as well with accordions and buy instruments. If all you knew Tony, that's what he was at. So between the 2 Anns, you could never get 1 Ann, you got the 2 Anns together. So they're looked after as well. I'm glad to come here today and play music for a lovely, lovely woman and a great friend. So Dearbhail, this is your hornpipe.
So I have very early memories of coming to Nobber Harp Festival as a child to see the concerts, and we were always really taken with the harp, and it was always a dream of ours to play. So we were very lucky. Myself and my 4 siblings were taught by Dearbhail growing up, and it's been a really, really big part of our life. I still am playing the harp to this day as a professional harpist.
We did. I was looking at photographs. Bogota, Colombia was our most exotic place together. Yeah. For Salvi, and then we did. We were in Trieste together, and then of course in Milan at the Expo. So we've done the globe. It's good. It's good the globe. Yeah. But, so I do. This is of course Caroline country. So I thought I'd me party piece. My grandmother was my teacher, and this is the one she arranged this for me last century, I would say. So we're flying by 2020, whatever, 22 now. So this was done in 1989 or 1990 as an arrangement for the Caroline couple. Anyway. Mr. O'Connor. now for the other party piece. This is, I think the last couple of times I played at the festival here, it was requested by a certain Dearbhail Finnegan, so I couldn't not do it. This is the lullaby that put us all to sleep as two generations, about 24 grandchildren and the rest all slept, were lulled to sleep. So if snoring happens, I'll take it as a compliment. Anyway, so this is the Gráinne Shehain Meath of Chola.
Meath of Chola, os in nie maar de gerich, mijn naam omhoog. Fagushin wie mijn in vorig, nach ik leef amor, som gehaal. Shahine sho, hello, Shahine sho, os tu molam, Shahine sho, hello, Shahine sho, es tu molam. The Gráinne Shehain Meath of Chola, Allah be the Gráinne, Dearbhail. Kollerevis kolos landet, asta chola, godoger dahlandir. Nastas meintje de Gráinne chraiter, os narba ban magdavair. Shahine sho, hello, Shahine sho, es tu molam. Shahine sho, hello, Shahine sho, es tu molam.
I started off harp with the Gráinne Harp Festival, and it's great to be back with the Meath Harp Ensemble, recognising and celebrating the renowned harpist Dearbhail Finnegan. I would have played alongside Dearbhail at the Flat Ceol and also on Gráinne, and it's just great to be back here today to meet with everyone again.
next performers coming on stage, I just wanted to say a few thank yous on behalf of Harp Ireland, Crit and Harp Ireland, to everybody who has helped pull this occasion together, particularly to Father Liam. I haven't met Father Liam yet. We have a really busy texting relationship, but I'm not sure whether he's in the congregation. I was going to say in the audience. Liam, are you there? No, he isn't here, but oh, he is. Father Liam, look, we want to say thank you so much for making the church available to us and for all of your cooperation and for the great support that you gave us at Mass this morning. The word went out. So thank you very much to Liam for giving us this beautiful church. I also wanted to say a special thank you to Geraldine Keoghan in the Greenways Cafe, who took tickets from us and who spread them all over the village and came back then with most of those tickets sold. So thank you to Geraldine, and who gave us most beautiful soup and sandwiches at lunchtime over in the Heritage Centre. To Henry Cruz, who has been fantastic, and Tom Finnegan, who made the Heritage Centre available to Fiona, Gryson and the Meath Harp Ensemble, who've been rehearsing there for the past couple of weeks. So it's the most beautiful centre where we've attended concerts many times over the years, but it was just fantastic to have it to help us get ready for this concert. So Henry and Tom, I know Henry is definitely there. Thank you very much. And we established an interesting link there with Henry earlier on, because Henry, of course, is a descendant of the famous Bridget Cruz, who was Carolyn's first love and for whom Carolyn composed that most beautiful air. So that's the Heritage Centre, the church. And then obviously to all my colleagues in Crit and Harp Ireland. And as you know, Crit and Harp Ireland was formed with the help of the Arts Council to promote and develop the harp in Ireland. And I want to say to the backroom team there, very, very many thanks, because pulling this thing together has taken a lot of work and an awful lot of support from everybody. So Aisling is a very special harpist and is a great friend of Dearbhail's. And Aisling is particularly innovative in her practice and has done some wonderful things with other artists in terms of things that you'd never think could be associated with the harp. And if you're looking to see some of her performances, she has this fabulous series called Harp O'Clock, where she speaks live and takes requests from people and where you hear her playing. So.
Thanks a million. Wow, it's sort of overwhelmingly lovely to enjoy the music and being here with lots of harpers and for you, Dearbhail. I'm going to play, the first tune I'm going to play is the Dear's March, which I learned from you, and whenever I play it I think this is Dearbhail's tune, and I think back to all the gas times, the fun times and the gas times. So this is the Dear's March, and after that I'll play Claire de Lune, a little bit of a curveball from the Dear's March, but there you go. Right, see what happens.
That is just magical. While Aisling is taking the harp off the stage, this is kind of the moment we've been waiting for to some extent. We've heard wonderful harping all afternoon, but now we're going to welcome the Meath Harp Ensemble on stage. And I suppose this is a reflection of the kind of work that Dearbhail did once she took over the harp school and began to build up the harp ensemble. She took them to Italy to see the Salvi factory there, isn't that right, Dearbhail? You took them to Sydney, to the World Harp Congress in Sydney, to perform the Chronicles of Meath, which was a piece that she had commissioned with the help of the Meath Harp Office via the Arts Council, a specially composed piece by Vincent Kennedy, I think for 6 harps, wasn't that right, or 7 harps, which we are going to hear now, part of it. And you also took them where else? To many other places, Dearbhail. They performed in Turmanvegan at An Chuaird Cruideachta, and they performed at many other festivals. In fact, when I was looking at Dearbhail's Facebook page last night prior to getting ready for this, Dearbhail had been in Rio de Janeiro spreading the word. She'd been in Italy, she'd been in Switzerland, and then always coming back here to Nobber in County Meath to do more work with the harp players here. So some of these harp players now that you're seeing come on stage, we would have began the harp with them right back in the day in 1986 or 87 or 88, prior to the first harp festival at Nobber. And in fact, when we met them in the Heritage Centre earlier, we were reintroducing one another to each other and remembering back to all of those days. I think Shauna Davies said to me, where's Shauna, that she was 8 or 9 when she started, 7 when she started. And I said, Shauna, I remember you this size. And she said, well, I'm still almost that size. But Shauna reminded me that, in fact, she began the harp because she had heard Dearbhail playing in the shopping centre in Navan, and Dearbhail had let her come up and run her fingers over the strings to play a glissando, which is that lovely Ripley piece that you hear when you play the harp. So that's how Shauna came to the harp. But all of the players that we have here in front of you have been associated with the Meath Harp School from the very beginning, and in fact are going to perform for you now pieces arranged by Dearbhail, mostly harp pieces, some newly composed pieces, but certainly beginning with Brian Boru's March, which is a traditional tune, and then going into Eleanor Plunkett, who was born, my memory escapes me now, but maybe very close to here. Was it Cruisetown that Eleanor Plunkett was born and reared? But anyway, Carolyn took a shine to her and composed this beautiful tune for her, which is going to be one of Dearbhail's arrangements. just watching and thinking, isn't it wonderful that these people just came together about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, to pull all of this programme together for us. So now they're going to continue with the work that I mentioned to you earlier that Dearbhail had commissioned with the help of the Meath Arts Office, a commission by Vincent Kennedy, the composer, called The Chronicles of Meath. And this is the one that Dearbhail took to Sydney with the Harp Ensemble at the time. I don't know if any of you actually went, did you? Some of you did? Yeah, some of you were in Sydney for that performance. Great. And I think 6 of them are going to perform the Book of Kells, which is the central movement amongst the 6 movements, which were based around places like Newbridge. Well, Newbridge isn't in Meath, but I think it was for that occasion, at the Tara and other places of note in County Meath. So the Book of Kells, and then we're going to finish, which I suppose is, well, with this little part of the concert, with a very special arrangement that Dearbhail arranged for the Harp Ensemble called The Butterfly. And I always think of this as Dearbhail's sig tune, because anytime the Meath Harp Ensemble played it, they played this. So it's a lovely butterfly-ish tune, just for the day that's in it. So over now for the Book of Kells. And before they begin, I want to say a very special thank you to Fiona Gryson, who wasn't for speaking today. She said, look, I looked after the music, I don't want to speak. She's well able to speak, so this is why I'm speaking on her behalf. But a big round of applause, please, for Fiona and the work that she has done. was thinking, sitting there, isn't this a wonderful legacy of the last 35 years of harping activity that we have that beautiful playing from the Meath Harp Ensemble. We're welcoming our other colleagues back on the stage, and I was just thinking, will Sean Uckle Sohailga a Darren Ska a Chéile a Warmwood. There's an Irish Sean Uckle, a proverb, which says, we live by depending on one another. And I think what we've heard today has been a real reflection of the extent to which the harp and harping and the soul of the music is kind of coming out and supporting every one of us here today. And thank you so much to all of you for coming along to support us in our performance today and showing that Ska a Chéile a Marmwood, because all of these harpers have come together to support harping and the celebration of harping, and particularly Dearbhail and all that she has done over the years. But thank you very much for your support and for coming along today. Now, what we're going to do now is we're winding up with two final tunes, two harpers' tunes, of course. So our button accordion and guitar and pipes are joining in with the harps from Aisling Ennis, Gráinne Hambly, Michael Rooney, Cormac de Barra, Brian McNamara, Martin and Karen, and all of our harpers from the Meath Harp School. A very big thank you to you for coming. And they're going to perform Fanny Power, which is one of Carolyn's best known tunes, and a starter tune for harpers, and Carolyn's Welcome.
1, 2.
Thank you.